good afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock on Friday the 23rd of June, and I'm just about to start the South Downs 300, otherwise known as the Southern Discomfort. So I got this idea from Keep Smiling off YouTube again. I've just about recovered from my last adventure in the Lake District a few weeks back, and now it's time to get those legs going again and have another go. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit easier than the Lake District route, but it's still going to be difficult. There's about 20,000 feet of ascent and it's hill after hill after hill, so it's going to be tough. I'm hoping to do it between 4 and 6 days. I really have no idea how long it's going to take me, so I'll just see how that goes. I'm not going to kill myself. I'll be filming as I go around, so I want to enjoy it. I think it passes through quite a lot of built up areas, so getting supplies and water hopefully shouldn't be too much of a problem. And according to Keep Smiling, camping out should be easy enough as well. Officially the route starts in Worthing, on the outskirts of Worthing, but I'm actually starting in Henham as that's the nearest point to where I've come from in Essex. Got the car, brought along some fish soup, so feeling revitalised and ready to go. Not sure how far I'll get today, but I'll just see how it goes and take it as it comes. Okay, time to get going. Speak soon. First decent climb of the day, still a mile and a half to go. It's going to be a tough one. I'll speak to you at the top. Still ascending up the first climb. It's quite steep, a lot easier going than the Lake District climb, so they were virtually impossible without hiker bike. I'm sure there will be some hiker bike on this route, but thus far definitely rideable. Nice wide track, fairly steep but just about rideable. Hot and sweaty all the same. So this is really my first South Downs hill really, and then it'll be up and down from there. Just thought I'd mention a few words about the dynamo charger that I'm using to charge my gear, including this Insta Go 360 camera, Go 2 camera, my mobile, my Garmin. Unfortunately not the drone because it's not powerful enough, but I have a dynamo charger called Pedal Cell, which I will show you as part of the video, which I highly recommend for charging your gadgets. Power banks are great. I use one of those as a backup too, but when the roads are smooth, even this sort of terrain that I'm on now, so long as I'm doing more than 6 kilometers an hour, I can charge my gear no problem. If you're hiker biking, that sort of thing, it won't charge, but otherwise it will. Very reliable, and means you don't have to keep switching off your mobile and worrying about how much charge you've got. I generally find I've got enough charge in most situations apart from hiker bike, so as I say, highly recommended. Okay, just about made it to the top of the first hill on the South Downs Way. Lovely views, as you can see. Just about to head up that way. It's a nice breeze, but it's to be welcome, to be honest. It's quite cooling. As I was saying about the pedal cell, for anybody interested in the pedal cell, I would say that you can charge a mobile device or mobile phone from 0 to 100%. Wait for it. In a day's riding. Sounds like a lot, but if you don't use your phone a lot, just for photographs, maybe checking the odd message, then it will usually keep my phone topped up and hovering in the 90 to 100%, especially if it's fast and smooth. Obviously, if it's slow going and you're hiker biking, it will make a difference. If you're using your mobile for heavy use, sometimes I use the camera app a lot, and that does take a lot of juice, but apart from that, it works quite well. One of the downsides is the dynamo that connects to the wheel part does actually rub against the wheel and does make a mark on the wheel, so it's something to consider. It's a nice, smooth, consistent mark, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Personally, not a problem. And the other good thing is, unlike the integral dynamo hubs that are permanent on the wheel, you can take this off and swap it onto another wheel on another bike within about 5 minutes flat. Really easy to do, no hassle. So yeah, definitely a game changer for me. I thought I'd mention Pedal Cell, it's called. You can get it online. It's about $300 US and about £300, so if you're living in the UK. Just stopped at a place called Storrington, had some fish and chips, and now I'm about to just head off again and find a place to sleep. It's only 7:15, so I've still got time. Still a lovely evening. Another place to sleep. Just seen a fox, but wasn't quick enough to film him. Nice and tranquil in the woods though. Okay, it's nearly 8 o'clock on day one, and I think I'm going to try and find a place to pitch the tent pretty soon. Still a lovely evening. I could easily cycle for another hour or so, but just wanted to make a start on day one. Didn't arrive until mid-afternoon, so just taking it easy. I'm actually filming, talking on the Insta360 Go 2 camera with a selfie stick at the moment, and it's a really versatile camera. It's a really miniature size of AirPods when it folds up into its little case, and you can probably see on my baseball cap a little attachment. That's where the camera goes when I want to do point of view filming. Really useful for that. The microphone isn't fantastic, but it's good enough. I've got an external mic on me which I've just forgotten to switch on, but hopefully you can hear me on this footage. Could be a bit windy, I'm guessing. Absolutely lovely woods either side of me, so I think I'm going to find a nice quiet spot in the midst of all of this. Okay, I'll report in when I've pitched up. Bye for now. It's coming to the end of day one. I'm about 5 miles outside Storrington, and I've come off the hills and found myself quite a spot in a farmer's field. Just had a chat with the farmer and he said it was okay, so no harm done in the end, sort of thing. Obviously it's a case of leave no trace, and everything's good, so many thanks to the farmer who's let me stay. So far I've done about 25 miles, not that much, but bearing in mind I didn't start until mid-afternoon anyway, and I spent a fair amount of time playing with the drone and things like that, so you know, got plenty of miles to do, but there's no rush, so I shall take my time, and I'm not aiming to break any records on this ride. The main purpose of this ride is just to enjoy it, so hopefully that'll be the case. It was a bit hot midday, but apart from that, it's been absolutely beautiful weather. Can't complain about the trails, nice and flat. Haven't walked with the bike once, no hiker bike at this stage. It's not to say there won't be any, but compared with the Lake District bikepacking trip I did 3 weeks ago, you can see that on YouTube as well. There's no comparison. That was a lot of hiker bike, that was brutal. For those of you who don't know, the South Downs 300 seems to be less known to a lot of locals as well. Nearly everybody's heard of the South Downs Way, but very few people have heard of the South Downs 300 or the Southern Discomfort. It's basically a route that I got the details from Keep Smiling on YouTube, but also you can find it on Commute, sorry, if you want to download the trail. It's all on there. It's I've only done one day of it so far, but I have done the South Downs Way before, so I kind of know what to expect. It's quite hilly, but I think the difference with this route is it drops down into the villages and towns nearby, which I quite like, because it makes life a little bit easier when it comes to getting supplies and asking for water if you need it, that sort of thing. I must try and do a better effort of locating where the South Downs Way taps are. There is a map of where the taps are, but I didn't spend enough time making notes of where all the taps were, so I'm having to improvise. No problem so far. I managed to get some water from the fish and chip shop. I often ask if at the pubs or the fish and chip shops if I can have some waters. You know, there's no big deal there. I do have a water filter if needed, but I haven't really come across any streams or anything like that yet, so I haven't been able to use that option. But apart from that, yeah, I'm ready to turn in, and let's see what tomorrow holds. Hopefully I have a little bit better luck tomorrow, because no sooner had I started the ride today, I lost my water bottle and had to go back about 2.5 miles, 5-mile round trip just to find my water bottle. But it's so hot today that I thought it'd be worth looking for it. I did find it, and it was right, sod's law, it was right at the start of the ride, so that was a bit of a bummer. And also I mentioned earlier mechanical, but I haven't had that on the rear derailleur, but I haven't had that issue since, so hopefully that was just a bit of a random glitch, and yeah, no problems thus far, no punctures or anything like that to report, so that's always good. I do run tubeless. For those of you who don't know, it's got sealant inside the tyres instead of an inner tube, and I tend to find that I get a lot less punctures with that. It's not 100% puncture proof. If it gets slashed open by a rock or something like that, a bit of glass, then you may need to plug it with something else, one of those bacon strips, or improvise some other method of using a bit of rubber or something. But I don't usually get a puncture going tubeless, so I'd definitely recommend that if you want a puncture-free time bike packing. Okay, well that's it for me. Good night for now, and I should see you all tomorrow. It's quite sandy and loamy on this section. Reminds me of the Surrey Hills, same sort of soft surface. It's quite easy to wash out on the downhill bits, so a bit of care and due attention needed. But oh, not too bad now, but yeah, it was just a little bit hairy for a bit just back then. I just finished the Lakeland 200, or a version of it, also completed by Keep Smiling on YouTube. He's done a lot more routes than I have, although I have done a lot more routes than what are on YouTube. I've only just started to record them, but it should be a bit easier going. As I said in the beginning, I'm already riding fairly freely. In the Lake District, I had to hike a bike, it seemed like nearly all the time, and you couldn't even enjoy the downhills. But here I'm hoping that the tracks are a lot smoother going, and I'll be able to enjoy most of the downhills, albeit with a loaded bike. But we'll see how it goes. As you can see, it's a bit overgrown at the moment, lots of nettle, so that's one of the hazards of mountain biking in your shorts in the summer. But just about wide enough to avoid them, so not too worried at this point. Hello. Just thought I'd talk a little bit about how I navigate on these bike packing trips. I bike I navigate in 3 ways. Basically, the days of paper maps have gone, for me at least. They can be useful, but I find them quite impractical and a bit bulky to carry, and they don't hold up in the bad weather and the wind and the rain, etc. Although you can get more waterproof mapping these days, so something to consider. But basically I've gone electronic. Now obviously with electronics, sat-navs, things can go wrong. You could run out of battery. You could smash your GPS unit, which I once managed to do when it fell off into a cliff whilst I was charging it on the south coast. Things can happen, so you need a backup. That would be my main advice. And basically I have 3 methods. The first method is probably what most people use, is my Garmin. I have a Garmin 1030 Plus. You don't necessarily need to go all the way to a Garmin 1030 Plus, but something which has up-to-date mapping, turn-by-turn navigation, good route planning, something where you can upload your courses onto, that sort of thing. Very useful. So basically I'm following turn by turn, even in the woods. I haven't got a clue where I am half of the time, or even most of the time. So I'm just literally following the Garmin sat-nav. I recently purchased a Garmin watch as well, mainly for running purposes, but it does have navigation features on it as well, if I needed it. So I've uploaded the same routes, same courses onto my watch should I need it. And then as a further backup, I have Ordnance Survey mapping loaded into my phone. Obviously a phone is a really good backup device. The main problem with phones, however, is battery life doesn't last as long as something like a Garmin, so you do need to consider that aspect of it. But I do have Ordnance Survey mapping, and that can be extremely useful when you're looking for more detail of where you are, as it takes on board all the contours and other sort of map features that are very useful, and you can zoom right in as well, which is great. So yeah, that's how I navigate. Obviously I can still take a wrong turn, as everybody does, but the chances are minimised by using these gadgets. So yeah, the wonders of technology. First bit of hiker bike. Not sure how long it'll last, but a bit too steep and a bit too rutty for my liking. Was expecting some hiker bike, to be honest. So, if you can ride up this without hiker bike, you're a better rider than me. Even without the bags, I reckon I'd struggle to get up this bit. 9:30 in the morning. I'm at Duncton Hill, which has great views, which I've just been having fun with the drone. Just had a quick snack and a drink. Seems like I've been cycling here for a while, but it's only 9:30 in the morning, so I started at 6:30. So making decent progress, but it's going to be a hot one today. So I'm trying to get some miles in before it gets too warm, but we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it will be slow going later on. Bye for now. Looks like we're heading for Charlton, or is it Goodwood? We'll see. Just bypassed Charlton onto Singleton. It's about 1:30 on day 2. Haven't managed to find anywhere for lunch yet, so just had a few pork pies, a banana and some nuts, that sort of thing. I only got half a bottle of water though, so need to keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if I'm on the South Downs way. There are taps, but I can never seem to find any of those taps. I guess they are online if you spend a bit of time looking for them, but I might have to pop in to see a farmer or something at this rate. But really hot day, guessing it's in the high 20s already. So it's the end of day 2, it's about 9 o'clock at night, the light's fading. I've just come up from Levant where I had a pub meal, popped into the car, bought a few provisions for tomorrow. Didn't see a shop all day today, so I'd hoped to get a little bit more food earlier, but luckily I did have a few provisions on me, so just about got by. And I've managed to get a few bits for tomorrow, so should be okay. I do try and get a hot meal in once a day, but today there's a little bit of a struggle. We'll see how it goes on the other days. When you look at the map, it does go through built up areas, so it's just a case of hitting them at the right time. Right now I'm next to Goodwood Racecourse, and some fantastic views going all the way to the sea behind me. I'll show you a little bit of that in a moment. I did about 42 miles today, which doesn't sound like lots, but I know from experience in the Downs that 40 to 50 is not a bad innings on the bike, a loaded bike, especially when you're stopping and starting and filming and things like that. So I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. Did set a target of about 42 miles a day, so I would have liked to have done it more comfortably than finishing at 8 at night, but setting off at 6:30 in the morning, but there you go. That's how it is, so you go with the flow sort of thing. So tomorrow is going to be another really hot one. I've heard it could be up to 30 plus degrees, so that was the main problem today, just too hot, sweating buckets at times. Of course that slows you down as well, so it's, you have to go with the conditions as well. Okay, well that's all for me tonight, and I'll see you in the morning, probably quite early. The light wakes me up quite early, so I'll see you then. Bye. Some fantastic views all the way to the coast. Goodwood Racecourse just behind me as well. Fancy a day out at the races. It's actually quite high up. I'm about 220 metres here, so that must be 150 metres or so. Lights fading, but some amazing views of Chichester in the background and the coast. And here's camp, usual setup. Quite a warm evening, bit of a breeze tonight on top of a hill, so hopefully the tent won't be too dewy in the morning. Okay, that's all from me. Good night.